India for topics revised accreditation framework NAAC and revised online process of AQAR delivered lectures for faculty development program organized by SPPU University Pune at Faizapur and Ottur workshop organized by Doshi Women's College Mumbai, individual visit for guidance at colleges of Raigad district.
Hello, Ambika, you are not audible. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible now, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can continue.
Sir has organized. Sorry. Sir has delivered lectures for faculty development program organized by SPPU University Pune at Faizapur and Uttur workshop organized by Doshi Women's College Mumbai, individual visit for guidance at colleges of Raigad district, Sindhudurg, Kolhapur, as well delivered resource speech on revised assessment and accreditation process in various national level webinar organized by IQAC Cluster India and various institutions pan India. In spite of this, guiding and supervising to 13 colleges of Maharashtra and other states for undergoing NAAC assessment and accreditation as per revised online process. SIRS completed 2 minor research projects funded by BCUD, University of Mumbai and UGC Pune, and 1 major project with the title Population Economics of Marine from West Coast of Maharashtra, funded by UGC New Delhi. Sir has published 28 research papers in international journals and received awards for many research papers as best research paper. Sir is approved PhD guide of Mumbai University for the subject of zoology. Sir, we welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. So please allow me to share my screen. So good evening to all. Today, we are going to discuss about criteria 5, the student support and progression. So basically, this is one of the important criteria as far as assessment and NAAC assessment and accreditation process is concerned. My voice is okay, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is audible.
Okay. So this is important criteria because that we all knows about overall assessment and accreditation process is student-centric. And throughout 7 criteria, the 2 criteria are important as far as student concerned. The second criteria, teaching learning process, teaching learning and evaluation. And first criteria, basically by serial number, that is the second criteria. But as far as importance is concerned, the students important is concerned, teaching learning process is important criteria, which having the major highest weightage. And the second important criteria is the student support and progression. Both criteria are important because both criteria are the student centric. The second criteria that is based on teaching learning process, different teaching learning methodology which have been adopted by the institution. And this criteria is concerned with the facilities which have been provided by the institution at various level against the progression of the student, how the students are progressed. This is the important aspect, means the facilities which have been provided by the institution against the facilities what kind of progression have been made by the student. So this is what is expected in throughout criteria. So we are going to discuss as per the recent manual, recent NAAC manual. If we are going to see number of metrics have been merged, and the metrics which are not so relevant to the all categories of the institutions, such metrics are also removed. With such recent and updated manual, we are going to start to discuss today's session. And first matrix for criteria 5 is quantitative matrix, and that we all knows about. Whole SSR manual have been categorized under two major sections. One, the question which have been noted as a QNM, that is the quantitative matrix. The quantitative matrix are the question which have been expected to give the data, the question which have been asked. Against the question, it is expected the institution should give the data and a supporting document for the data which have been provided. So this is what the quantitative matrix. While qualitative matrix, these are the questions which have been asked. Institution is required to provide the description in 500 words, or in some cases in 1,000 words. So that is the qualitative matrix, means the question have been asked, institutions are required to describe the answer. As far as both metrics are concerned, the documentation is important, that both metrics are required to claim with the help of the document in the form of the evidences. So this is the first matrix, which is quantitative matrix, means data-based matrix. We have to provide the data, and in the support of data, documentation is important, that relevant documents are required to provide so as to make the claim. 511, this is asking about the percentage of the student benefited by the scholarship, freeship provided by the government, non-government agencies. And recently included aspect is the philanthropies during the last 5 years. The weightage for this matrix is of 20. The matrix is asking about the scholarship, the student beneficiary related to the government scholarship, the student beneficiary related to the non-government agencies. Say, for example, any industry have been provided the scholarship, NGO have been provided the scholarship, or even institution is also, if the institution has provided the scholarship, that is also considered. So there's all kind of the scholarship comes under the non-government agencies. Along with that, any individual person, if provided the scholarship for the institution, that is also considered for this matrix. Recently, if you are able to see philanthropies means individual donor. So individual donor, if provided a scholarship or freeship to the institution, to the student of the institution, so that is also going to consider for this matrix. So the documentation which required to provide for this matrix, as the first important document is government sanction letter attested by the principal. Whatever government scholarship issued by the student of the institution, so sanction letter is required. So government sanction letter is required. So has to provide as a document evidences. Second important document is required, the list of the beneficiary student with signature of the principal. So year-wise student beneficiary list is required to prepare, along with the type of the scholarship or the freeship which have been benefited. And this list should be on the college letterhead signed by the principal. So this is the second important document. And third document which is expected as the students beneficiaries are non-government agencies, that any industry provided the scholarship, the institution itself having its own scholarship or the freeship, or any philanthropist, any donor provided the scholarship or the freeship, corporate sector provided freeship or the scholarship. Such all categories, if they are provided scholarship or the freeship to the institution, to the student of institution, then the sanction letter from each, along with the list of the beneficiary student, this is what the third important document is required to provide, so as to claim for this matrix. And if the institution is providing scholarship or freeship, or the scholarship or freeship have been provided from the non-government agencies, so far what we discussed about, in such condition, It is also expected to provide the audited statement of expenditure. The audited statement of expenditure is going to state about this much amount is utilized for the purpose of the scholarship. So the audited statement of expenditure is also required to provide so as to claim as the students' beneficiaries are from the institution, industry, philanthropists, NGOs, or the corporate sector. So these documents you can provide as a supporting document because every matrix having certain spaces so as to upload the document when you are going to working on online SSR. So one space is asking to upload the supporting document. So for that space, you can provide these documents. And second, one more space is provided for this matrix that is called as additional information. As far as additional information is concerned, so the institution can develop this policy, institutional fellowship freeship policy. In that policy, you can provide as additional information. And a consolidated government document report, NGO report, or it's additional, it's not mandatory. But as far as additional information is concerned, it is required the institution should develop the policy, the institutional fellowship freeship policy. That policy you can upload here, as well as this policy is expected to upload on your college website. So either you can provide the link of your college website or directly you can upload the policy over here as additional information. So just I spoke about that every matrix have been provided the specific space when you are working with an online SSR. You can see, so first space which have been specified, upload the self-attested letter with the list of the student scholarship, additional information. And third space is the data template. Here you are required to upload the table in Excel sheet in a format which have been provided by the NAAC. So as per as recently the benchmarking have been given by the NAAC. As far as to get the maximum score, so as to score the maximum for this matrix, it is expected more than 70% of the students should get benefited from the scholarship, freeship, any categories. It may be government scholarship, it may be institutional scholarship or corporate scholarship. But the student percentage should be more than 70% as the institution will get the good grade, that is the highest grade, highest scale in this matrix. And accordingly, the scale is going to decrease in between 60 to 70, then the 3 scale, 50 to 62 scale, 40 to 51 scale. So as like the scaling is given for this matrix. So this is the data template. Data template means all or most of the quantitative metrics are required to provide data template in Excel sheet. Only 7 criteria, 7 in which you don't find any kind of the template for quantitative metric, but rest of all quantitative metrics throughout 7 criteria. Quantitative metrics are required to provided with the data template, that is the table in Excel sheet. This table is required to upload for 511. Here you can see the year, name of the scheme you have to mention here, number of the student benefited. This column is specially for the government scholarship beneficiaries, year-wise number of the student and amount here you have to mention. And this column is for the rest of the second column is the student beneficiary of the non-government agencies, that the institution scholarship, industry scholarship, any corporate sector had given scholarship, so that you can provide in the second column. And third column is a philanthropist, as individual donor provided the scholarship to this, for the student of the institution. So that data you can provide here. And last column, if you are able to see, link to the relevant document. All discussed document, all submitted document for this matrix. So same document you have to also upload on your college website, and the link of that all document which are relevant for 511 you have to provide in the last column of the template, because last column is asking about to link to the relevant document. So 512 is next against quantitative matrix. This is concerned with the capacity building and skill enhancement initiatives. Means the institution, what initiatives have been taken by the institution as far as skill development of the student is concerned. Means this matrix is concerned with the skill enhancement of the student. But again, as far as skill enhancement is concerned, specific area have been provided by the NAAC. Accordingly, the inputs are expected. First area of skill enhancement is soft skill, kind of initiatives which have been taken by the institution for the soft skill development of the student. This is required to provide. Secondly, the language and communication skill initiatives taken by the institution for the development of language and communication skill among the student. Third area which have been specified by the NAAC, that is the life skill initiatives which have been taken by the institution for the development of life skill among the student. And again, the life skill have been also specified. The yoga is there, physical fitness, health and hygiene. And last area of the skill enhancement is concerned with the ICT and computing skill. The institution taken, initiatives taken by the institution for the development of ICT and computing skill. So this is the opt type of the matrix. Opt type of matrix means the institution is required to opt the option as the institution is working in all 4 areas. Then option A is there. If the institution is working only in 3 areas, option B, 2 areas, option C, and in 1 area, option D. So as like options will be available with the online SSR. So here we are going to briefing the aspect which is applicable for first area, that is the soft skill. What kind of initiatives can be taken by the institution? So as far as soft skill is concerned, so there are certain topics, for example, teamwork, dependability, adaptability, flexibility, leadership, problem solving, creativity. So these are the some of the topic or the title which comes under the soft skill, and the institution can organize the motivational guest lecture on the shared topic, or the institution can organize the workshop as well for the student or the training. So either of one can have the institution as far as soft skill is concerned or the development of soft skill is concerned. The second area which have been asked by the NAAC, that is language and communication skill. Again, here are some of the titles like reading, writing, spoken English, business communication, corporate communication, international communication. So these are the certain titles. On this title, the institution can organize the skill development certificate courses, or the institution can conduct the guest lectures as well. But these are the some of the titles which comes under the language and communication skill. So next area which have been specified by the NAAC, that is the ICT and computing skill. Again, for this area, the institution can have the skill development certificate courses less than 30 hours. The topic of the courses will be as like computer and programming, software application, word processing, database, PowerPoint presentation, search engine. So these are the basic titles. On the basic title, the institution can have the skill development courses, that is the short-term skill development courses, or the institution can organize the exhibition as well on this topic as far as ICT and computing skill is concerned. The fourth area which have been specified, that is life skill. Under the life skill, again, yoga, physical fitness, health and hygiene. So the institution can organize the training on the yoga, physical fitness, health and hygiene, or the institution can have the workshop as well, or the awareness program, or sometimes the guest lectures are also accepted. So these are the some of the titles which comes under the fourth area, which have been specified by the NAAC as per as life skill is concerned. Now we are coming to the important area, that is the documentation. Which kind of the documentations are they required to provide so as to claim this matrix? That first is the circular brochure notice of the event and activity. All claimed activities are expected to provide the brochure or the notice, first documentation. Then second document which required the report of the event is required to prepare by the institution. All activity report will be in the format like title of the activity, date, name of the resource person, a few lines about the activity, that is the briefing of the activities, then list of number of the student participants of the activity, and the geotag photos. So in this format, the institution can prepare the report, but report is required to prepare of all claimed activities under each area. Then activity-wise list of the student. Here list is important because this matrix is assessed with the help of the list which have been provided by the institution. So the list is required to provide, prepare, activity-wise list is required to prepare. And exactly the sequence which is to be followed, the sequence of activity which has been given in the data template, with that sequence it is required to prepare the list of the student participant. So it will be beneficial for the verification to the DVV team. Then attendance of the student, attendance list of all students which appeared or which are the beneficiaries of said activity, that is also required to provide. Then sample certificate of each activity. As the skill development courses have been organized by the institution under this category, then there is need, it's a mandatory to provide the certificate after completion of the course to each and every student. But as far as documentation is concerned, here each course 1 to 2 sample certificates are required to provide as far as documentation is concerned. So these all document the institution can provide as additional information, the space which have been provided with online SSR stated additional information. For additional information, you can provide these all documents. And one more space is provided linked to the institutional website. So these all document which you are going to provide here, so as to claim as additional information, same document you have to also upload on your college website, and link of that you can provide, because one of the space for this matrix is asking to provide the website link. See here, this is the screenshot, direct screenshot have been taken from the online SSR. For this matrix, you can see a link to the institutional website. So this space will not accept any document in the form of the PDF or the Excel sheet. So as such kind of the look will be there, this is only for to paste the link. So here only the link of website will be accepted. So here you have to provide the link of your college website, but which link? So these all documents you have to upload on college website under specific menu bar, under specific title, and the link of that you have to provide. This is the data template where you have to provide the data template, that is the table in Excel sheet, and last column which is asked for the additional information. So these all documents you are going to convert in one PDF file and you can upload here as an additional information. So as far as benchmark for this matrix is concerned, as the institution is willing to have a highest scale for this matrix, it is required the institution has to work in all 4 areas. That the institution required to conduct the activities on all 4 areas, that is soft skill, language and communication skill, life skill, ICT skill. Then you can opt the option A, and when you are opting the option A, and as the documents are correct, relevant documents have been provided, then the institution will get the higher scale for this matrix. So accordingly, there will be decrease in a scale in 3 area, B in 2 area, C in one area the institution is working, then the D, and if none of area, that is the E. So this is what the benchmarking as per as this matrix is concerned. So see, this is the data template, though this is the quantitative matrix, that's why it's mandatory. Table is required to provide an Excel sheet, name of the capability development and skill enhancement program. Here you have to write the title of the activities. For example, if you are going to conduct any activities under the soft skill, that you are conducted workshop on the soft skill. So any dependability, supposed to be dependability is activities in the form of workshop the institution have been conducted. When you are providing data in this template, at first you have to write the main title, soft skill, then you have to write the activities under that which you have been conducted. So accordingly, this column is required to provide the data. First, there should be the main title, then you have to write the subtitle in the same column. Next is date of implementation, that on which date it has been conducted. Number of the student enrolled, here you have to put only the number. Name of agency, that any collaborating agency is there so as to conduct this activity. The name of that you have to write here. If there is no any collaborating agency, then here you can write your own institution name. So in this way, you have to provide the data in this template. Pi 1.3 is again quantitative matrix. It is expected, or this matrix is asking about the percentage of the student benefited by guidance for the competitive examination. and career counseling offered by the institution during last 5 years. So this matrix is based on two important areas. One, that is the competitive examination, that initiatives have been taken by the institution for guiding competitive examination, as well as the career and counseling cell. So the two areas on which this matrix is based, having the weightage of 10. So as far as this matrix is concerned, that guest lectures awareness program are considered for this matrix, but guest lecture should be based on a competitive examination. The training is also considered if the institution is providing long-term training on the competitive examination, that specific student have been selected and the same student have guided so as to appear the pre-exam, main exam of the competitive examination. That kind of the activity is also considered, or only the awareness lectures are given. Guest lectures are given which are based on the competitive examination. That kind of the activities or guest lectures or training or workshop can be accepted for this matrix. Similar for the career counseling. So as far as career counseling concerned, the institution can have the career counseling activities, program, awareness program for faculty wise, for stream wise. So as per the convenience of the institution can have the activities, but the activity program should be based on the career counseling. And as far as documentary evidence is concerned, as far as authenticity is concerned, resource person is important, counselor is important. When you are providing data for this matrix, then the resource person who invited for guiding competitive examination, the details of the resource person is important to be provided along with the report. As far as career counseling, if the career counseling program is there offered by the institution, then counselor name and details of the counselor is also required to provide as far as authenticity of the claim is concerned. So as I spoke about, the two areas are important for this matrix. One, that is the competitive examination. The institution can have the competitive examination preparatory cell. Through that cell, the institution can conduct, can organize the program, the activities. Similarly, there is expected the career and counseling cell. So through these two cells, the institution can conduct the activities, and that will be the more authentic so as to claim this matrix. So documentation is important aspect. So as far as supporting documents are concerned, the notice of all activity, whatever number of activities are going to claim by the institution, the circular or notice of all activity is required to provide. That is the first type of the documentation so as to claim this matrix. Then second is the report of activity. So here again the institution is required to prepare the report of activity. How you are going to prepare the report? So the report of activity will be, so title of the activity, date, and a name of resource person is important. So name of resource person is also required to provide. Title, date, brief information about the activity, number of participants, you have to provide the number of participants, and lastly the report should be ended with the geotag photos. So whatever number of activities are going to claim by the institution, so the all activities report can have in the same format. That will be for the sequencing. So the report of each and every activity, then activity-wise list of the student participant. Again, here I would like to suggest the list of the student participant, what you are going to prepare, that should be in a sequence of data which have been provided to the data template. So the activity sequence, the sequence of activity which you have been provided in a data template, in the same sequence, there should be the report as well as there should be the list of the student participant. As far as list is concerned, so the list should be authenticated by the signed by the course coordinator and authenticated by the principal. Then sample certificate of each claimed activity. So this is also the important the document. And the template of this matrix is asking about link. So which link you are able to provide. So these are all documents which you are going to upload here to the SSR so as to claim this matrix. So all documents you have to also upload on your college website under the title of competitive examination, career counseling, and the link of that you can provide. You have to provide to the in a last column of the template, because last column of the template specifically asking the link. So see, the two spaces have been provided for this matrix. One is the data template. So here we have to upload the table in Excel sheet and additional information. It's all document in one PDF file. You have to upload here as an additional information. So as far as data template is concerned, but benchmarking is concerned. So how the institution can score high scale for this matrix? The 40% of student or more than 40% of student, as they are benefited for said activity, that they are beneficiaries of guidance, competitive examination and career counseling, more than 50% student and the institution will get the high score for this matrix. So as like you can see in between 30 to 40%, then the 3 scale will get 20 to 30% too. So as like accordingly you can see, but more than 40% students are expected to a beneficiary as far as this activity is concerned, so as to get the highest score. So here you can see the template, year-wise data template, year-wise data is required to provide. Here you can write year, then name of activities, number of the student attended, participate, number of students placed through the campus placement. So this column is concerned beneficiaries of this activity. It means through the career counseling, the number of students who placed, you have to mention here, or through the guidance, the institution provided the guidance for the competitive examination, and through this activity, the number of students who have been placed, you have to mention here. In last column, you can see the link to the relevant document. Here, what I suggested during the discussion of this matrix, all documents which you are going to upload here so as to claim this matrix. So similar documents are also required to upload on your college website under the menu bar of competitive examination, public career counseling, and a link of your college website you can provide here. So this again is the quantitative matrix 514 having the weightage of 5. This is also opt type of matrix, and this matrix is asking about the institution has transparent mechanism for timely redressal of student grievance, including sexual harassment and ragging cases. The three cells are important as far as this matrix is concerned. First is the student redressal cell, that is the student grievance redressal cell. Second cell is the anti-ragging cell, and third cell is the ICC cell, that is the internal compliance cell. Basically, this cell is working for sexual harassment in workplace. So as far as these three cells are concerned, the specific guidelines have been provided by the UGC. It is expected these three cells should be constituted as per the guidelines of the UGC, and the functioning of these three cells should be as per the direction of the UGC. That's if you are going to see the options which have been given for this matrix. The first area, implementation of guideline of statutory regulatory body. This question is asking about whether the institution is following the guidelines of the statutory bodies, that is the UGCs, regulation of the UGCs are followed or not as per as these three cells are concerned. The composition of these three cells should be as per the directions of the UGC, as per guideline of the UGC. Functioning of these three cells should be as like the guidelines of the UGC. That is the first area. Second, organization-wide awareness and undertaking on policies with zero tolerance. It is expected the institution should undertake the zero tolerance policy. And zero tolerance policy specifically it is applicable for the anti-ragging side. That is also we are going to discuss later on. What is meant by zero tolerance policy and how the institution is going to claim that the institution have been accepted zero tolerance policy. The second area. The third area is mechanism for submission of the online offline student grievances. What kind of mechanism have been developed by the institution so as to file the cases which are related to the student grievances or ICC or the anti-ragging cell. Whether there is offline mechanism, that application is available from office, the student or any sufferer, any victim can take the application and to fill the application and application is submitted. So as like provision is there, or the online provision that the any victim can go on the website and through which the form can be filled, that the online provision is there. So this is the third area. And last area for this matrix is timely redressal of the grievances through the appropriate committee. It is expected. These three cells are mandatory cells. Mandatory means every higher education institution should have these three cells constituted as per the guideline, and the functioning of these three cells should be as per the guidelines. Means, and a timely redressal, the specific time is there. Within 15 days, the cases has to be resolved. It's a mandatory. So timely redressal as well as grievances, timely redressal as well as these grievances are resolved through the appropriate committee. It is expected the cases which are related to the sexual harassment, it should be resolved by the ICC cell. The cases which are related to the ragging, so such cases should be resolved by the anti-ragging cell. Similarly, the student grievance redressal. So the cases which are related to the student grievances, it should be resolved by the student grievance redressal cell. It is expected. So as per this, if the institution is working, then so these four areas are there. As the institution is working in all four areas as per specified, then you can opt the option A. If the institution is working in only three areas, there is no specific guideline have been followed as per as composition of these three cells are concerned, functioning of these three cells are concerned, then the institution can have the three areas. So zero tolerance policy have been not undertaken by the institution. There is no any submission mechanism. So as like how the institution is working in the specified area, accordingly the options can be opted out. So as far as these three cells are concerned, so we are going to overview. So student grievance committee. So it is mandatory as per the uniform statutes 2019. So approximately 15 types of the complaints which comes under the student grievance redressal committee. For example, admission control is there, irregularity in the admission. The institution is demanding more money than that of prescribed. So as the reservation policies are not followed at the time of admission, or the institution is asking some extra documents or more documents which are not mandatory, which are not mandatory, or any kind of the discrimination is there, student discrimination is there, or inadequate student facilities are there, as there is any problem in the evaluation. So these are the more or less 15 types of the complaints which comes under the student grievance committee. So, and it is mandatory, any case under this title, it should be resolved within 15 days. It's a mandatory as per the statutes uniform 2019. As far as anti-ragging cell is concerned, so this committee works against the ragging, and just we spoke about the zero tolerance policy. No act of ragging, major or minor, shall go unpunished. No ragger, male or female student, shall go unpunished. No institution that failed to take action against the ragging shall be allowed it to operate. So as these policies have been undertaken by the institution, it is called the zero tolerance policy have been undertaken. What kind of evidence is required to provide by the institution? So the board are required to display in a remarkable places of the institution, inside the institution, on the gate, in the area where there is maximum student interference is there. So in such a places, the board are required to display as like zero tolerance policy, and you have to write on that board as like no act of ragging, major or minor, shall go unpunished, unnoticed. No ragger, male or female student, shall go unpunished. No institution that failed to take action against the ragging shall be allowed it to operate. So as like flex or the boards are displayed, and the photos of this you have to provide to the SSR so as to claim this matrix that the institution have been undertaken on the policies of the zero tolerance. So this is the second important cell, mandatory cell, the constitution and the functioning. The third cell, that is the internal compliance cell. Basically, this cell or this committee works against sexual harassment at workplace. Any unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of the sexual nature, demanding or requesting for sexual favor, making sexual colored remark, physical contact and advances, or sharing pornography. So these all types comes under the internal compliance cell or the sexual harassment cell. And this is the mandatory. These three cells are the mandatory. Constitution of these three cells should be as per the UGC guideline. The functioning of these three cells should be as per the UGC guideline. Documentation is important aspect. So as far as documentation is concerned, first important document which is required to provide for this matrix is a first tabulated list of the awareness activity is required to provide the list of the activities in the form of the table. The tabulated list of the awareness activity, including serial number, date, title of activity, and number of participants. So first document, list of the activity in the tabulated form. Then report of various awareness program activities which have been organized by these cell. Means the awareness program which have been organized by anti-ragging cell, internal compliance cell, or the student redressal cell. So the report of activities are also required to provide. And for as per as report is concerned, you can follow the same format. Any report should start with the title of activity, date, if the resource person is there, name of resource person, brief information about the activity, number of participant, and geotag photo. So in same way or in the same format, you can also provide the report of various awareness programs which have been conducted by these activities. Then grievance redressal policy document, including zero tolerance, just what I spoke about. The board you have to display in a campus, remarkable places, and the photos of that board you can provide as a evidence the institution have undertaken the zero tolerance policy. The next document, minutes of the meeting of aforesaid committees and the composition of committee, that is also you have to provide as a document evidences. Then details, next document, details of the student grievances, including sexual harassment and the ragging cases. So last space specially have been provided for this matrix so as to provide the details of the cases received under these cell. Normally, none of institution have such kind of the cases in a written. In such condition, the institution can provide the undertaking by the principal that no any ragging case, anti-ragging, no any ragging case, sexual harassment, or the student redressal have been noticed, have been filed in last 5 years. So as like undertaking can provide by the institution, because the last space is specifically provided, that place you cannot keep blank, because whatever blank spaces are there during the submission of the SSR, if the blank spaces will be there, so final submission will have the error. So this space you can provide undertaken given by the principal. And it is also expected to link, to paste the link of college website, which having the provision of online submission. So the link of college website is also required to provide so as to claim the third questions which have been asked for this matrix. See, this is the space which have been provided for this matrix. Additional information, these all documents you can upload as additional information. Middle space is minutes of the meeting of all these committees. And last space is the details of the student grievances, including sexual harassment and tracking cases. Though the institution doesn't have any cases related in such situation, in such condition, the undertaking from the principal can be uploaded here as per as documentation is concerned. So this is the benchmark as the institutions are working in all 4 areas. Then A option is there already. Undoubtedly the institution should opt the A option. When the A option is opted out, opted, not out. When A option is opted, then the institution will give the high score for this matrix. So similarly, 3 areas, B scale, the 3 scale, then only 2 areas, 2 scales. So as like the scale will be allotted as per the options which have been opted by the institution. So this is 521. This matrix is concerned 20 weightage. This matrix has the weightage of 20. And this matrix is concerned with the placement of the outgoing student as well as progression to the higher education. So basically, in earlier manual, these both metrics were different, that the percentage of the placement and the percentage of student progressing to the higher education. But in recent manual, both metrics have been merged. Now it becomes only a single matrix. So this matrix is asking about the student who placed in last 5 years, as well as the student who progressed for higher education during the last 5 years. So documentation is important as far as this matrix is concerned. So as to claim again, this is the quantitative matrix. So first a document which is required to prepare or provide by the institution is list of the student placed and progressed. Here you can have the common list or the separate list, but better to have the common list placed and the progressed common list for higher education with the detail of placed organization or detail about the admitted institution and the program. And lastly, this list have been authenticated by the principal, means list should be prepared on college letterhead and lastly signed by the principal. The second document which is expected, bona fide certificate, ID of the admitted student or the TC record or the admission, receipt of admission is also considered. So either of one is required so as to claim the progression for the higher education. If the institution have been claimed that 60 students have been progressed for the higher education, means all 60 students, either of one document is mandatory. That bona fide certificate from the admitted institution or ID card of admitted institution or TC record. Normally TC record will be in-house institution. So the TC record in last place it is mentioned that for which purpose the TC have been issued to the student, means for taking the admission in next institution. So as like that, so in last part of the TC record, it is mentioned for which purpose this TC have been issued. So the TC record is also applicable, or the admission receipt, the admission receipt of the institution in which the student have taken the admission. So either of one document is mandatory so as to claim for the student progression for this education. So as far as you are going to claim the placement that the student placed, that is the placement, appointment letter is mandatory. That all claimed student appointment letter is mandatory. That is required so as to claim this matrix. So next document is the appointment letter. Then the notice, brochure, circular of in-campus or in-campus interview. Newspaper cutting is there that the news have been published in the newspaper that on so and so date in so and so institution the campus interview have been organized. So as like newspaper cutting is also important document you can provide as a document evidences. Then annual report mention the placement. Then placement cell report mentioning the placement. The student database on college website, you can paste the link to the SSR. Then if the appointment letters are more, because the specific space have been provided, 5 MB space is provided per matrix. As the appointment letters are more, the evidences, progression to the higher educations are more, then appointment letters, access appointment letter, and the access progression document you have to upload on your college website. And the link of that you have to provide because one of the spaces specially asking to provide the link. So in such condition, you can provide if the documents are more, the appointment letters are more, but each and every student appointment letter is mandatory. Without appointment letter, you cannot include the name of the student in the list. That's why as the appointment letters are more, the letters of progression to the higher educations are more, then these documents you can upload on your college website and you can provide the link. So this is the benchmarking. As more than 60% of the students are progressed or placed, then the institution will give a high score, high scale for this matrix. So accordingly, the scale will be decreases in between 40 to 63 scale, 30 to 40%, 2 scale, 10 to 30%, 1 scale. So this is what the benchmarking which have been given for this matrix. See, this is the template, though this is the quantitative matrix, that's why the template is mandatory. Without a template provided to the quantitative matrix, that matrix will not be assessed. So the assessment for the quantitative matrix, the template is mandatory. So this template is the year-wise data you have to provide here. In first column, you have to write the year, name of the student placed, enrolled into higher education. So both the categories of the student name you have to provide in the same column. Program graduated from you have to provide in this column. Name of the employer with contact detail. As you are a student, you are going to claim the placed student. Then in fourth column, you have to provide the name of the industry or the employer. Or if you are going to claim the student who progressed, the name of the institution in which the student took admission that you have to provide. In last column, you can see as you are going to claim the placed student, then the you have to provide the pay package as per the appointment letter. If you are going to claim the student progressed for their education, here you have to write the name of the program to which the student took the admission. So in this way, you have to provide the data for the matrix 521 in a data template, that is an Excel sheet. So this is again the matrix which is concerned with the examination that the student are qualifying the state level, national level, international level examination. The examples are also given by the NAAC. For example, the JAM, CLAT, GATE, GMAT, CAT, GRA, TOEFL, civil services, state government examination, etc., etc. So this matrix is related to the examination which are required for the recruitment. So as like examination, state level, national level, international level examination, you have been qualified by the student of your institution, so you can provide the data as well as the related documentation. So documentation for this matrix is you have to prepare the list of the student on college letterhead, name of the student, contact number of the student, and selected with the field of specification. In last column, you can provide in which field the student have been selected. And important document is the grade card or the mark sheet. So without grade card or the mark sheet, your claim will not be accepted as per as this matrix is concerned. So whatever number of the student you are going to claim for this matrix, that all students' grade card is must, or that is the mandatory. As per as calculation of this matrix is concerned, so the total number of the outgoing student minus total number of the student placed and progressed. So whatever number of the student will remain, so that number of the student will compare so as to calculate this matrix. Means, for example, you have the 100 student in institution, outgoing student, that is the last year student or third year student, last year student are 100, out of which supposed to be 60 students are there, who after 30 are placed and 30 progress to the higher education. So 160 minus 40 will be remain. So the 40 number of the students. So for the calculation of this matrix, 40 is calculated. So the number, the student who have been qualified for this kind of the examination, so the number of student is compared with the 40, means remaining student from the placed and the progress to the higher education. So as like calculation is there for this matrix. See, this is the space which have been provided for this matrix. So one space, that is the supporting document. In the supporting document, you can upload the grade card mark sheet. You have to upload as a supporting document. Middle space is the data template where Excel sheet table is required to upload. And in any additional information, you can upload the list of the student on college letterhead authenticated by the principal. So this is the benchmark. As the percentage comes more than 10%, means the total outgoing student minus the student placed and progress, that number will be compared with the student who have been qualified these kind of the examination, and the answer comes more than 10%, then the institution will get the high scale for this matrix, that is the 4 scale will get. If the percentage is in between 7 to 10, then 3, 4 to 7, 2. So as like you can see, this is the benchmarking for this matrix. And this is the data template, quite complicated data template as far as this matrix is concerned. So here you have to write the serial number, year, registration number, name of the student selected qualified. So this column is you have to write the all students who have been qualified this type of the examination. In short, this is the list. This column is list of the student you have to provide in this column, and rest of the column which you are able to see here, only the specific student have been provided. The name of the specific student have been provided who have cleared or qualified the specific examination. For example, I have been given the example here. So A, B, C, D, E, F. So these are the all students. And here you can see the student who cleared the gate ABC, we have to write under this column. So as like, so this we have to divide. So this list we have to divide as per the examination cleared, isn't it? So this is the way through which you can provide the data template for this matrix. So 531 is again quantitative matrix. It is concerned to the number of award medals for outstanding performance in sport and cultural activities. So the medals and award, inter-university competition, university competition, state, national level competition, international level competitions award can be considered for this matrix. So as far as documentations are concerned, so first important document which is required to provide for this matrix is the e-copies, letter, certificate of award meaning. So important and first mandatory documents so as to claim this matrix as a supporting document. Additional information you can provide as additional information, the geotag photos of award receiving, if the institution have the geotag photos or the photos at the time of receiving award, so that photo you can provide in the form of the report. Newspaper cutting is there with the institution that this news is published in the newspaper. So that newspaper cutting is also important document you can upload as additional information. So report and geotag photos of the winners felicitation program. As the institution have organized the felicitation program, winners felicitation program. So the report of such program with geotag photos can be also uploaded as additional information is concerned. So this is the space which have been provided. First is the data template, Excel sheet table you have to provide, you have to upload e-copies of the award. So the letter or the award which have been a letter or award, you have to upload here, you have to upload here in the middle space, and additional information. So last space is for the additional information. So just what we discussed about as per as additional information is concerned, you can upload here in the third space. So this is the benchmarking. As the awards are more than 30, then the institution will get the high scale for this matrix. So as like you can see 20 to 30, the C scale will get 10 to 10, the 2 scale will get, so as like, so this is the scale, this is the benchmarking for this matrix. And this is the data template. Year, name of the award medal, you have to mention here. Whether it is the team or the individual, that is also required to mention. The level, you have to mention whether it is university level, state level, national, international level. Then you have to write about the sport, whether it is the sport activities or the cultural activity. But don't forget to write first the sport and after give the dash and after that to mention the subtitle of the sport. And last column is the name of the. Similarly, you have to write about the cultural. So first main title will be cultural, give the dash, and under that cultural, which activity is there you have to mention. And last column is the name of the student who got the award. So that you have to mention here. As per as team is concerned, so as per as team is concerned, then also you have to write the all student, or if such achievement is more, then you can write only the name of the captains as well as the team is representing. So in this manner, you can provide the data for this matrix. So average number of the sport and cultural program activities which have been conducted by the institution or the nearby institution conducted and your student have been participated. So both the types claim is going to accepted for this matrix. Very good weightage for this matrix, that is the 25 is the weightage for this matrix. So this is like the inter-class competition, isn't it? So inter-college competition, taluka level competition, district level competition which have been organized in an institution or nearby institution have been organized, the same categories, same types of the competition, and your student have been participated. So such all kind of the claim is going to accept for this matrix. Documentation is concerned. First, as per as additional documentation is concerned, so you have to provide the name of the activity, list of the participant student, notice of the activity, time schedule of the activity which have been conducted, and result documents, the result which prepared at the time of competition. 2 to 3 sample result document can be also uploaded or provided as additional information. So report of event, the specific space which have been provided for this matrix, that is asking to provide the report of the event or the activity. So here you have to prepare the report. So same format you can apply here. The title, date, name of the activities, briefing about the activities, then number of the student participant, and 1 or 2 geotag photos. So accordingly, all event, all activities conducted or claimed the report, you have to prepare in the same format and to be uploaded to the specific space which have been asking. You can see here, upload any additional information So this document will go as additional information. Specifically in the middle, you can see a report of the event. So here you have to upload the report of the event, just what we discussed about. And lastest column is the data template. So see, so data template is later on, but before that, we are going to see the benchmark. If as like activities are more than 30 in last 5 years, then the institution will get the high scale for this matrix, what we can say. So 4 scale is possible to get. If the activities are in between 20 to 30, then the 3 scale will get. So accordingly, you can see, so this is the benchmarking, and this is the data template in which the institution is required to provide the data. So data template is concerned. See, this is the data template. Date of event activities, name of the event activities, name of the student participant. Only the 3 columns are there in which you have to provide the data for so as to claim this matrix. So this is 541, only one qualitative matrix amongst all matrix of criteria 5, that is the 541. This is concerned with the registered alumni association, the contribution of the registered alumni association for the overall development of the institution, and the contribution in the form of the financial or any other support services. So it is expected to describe the answer in 500 words as far as description is concerned. So here are some guidelines to describe. At first, you have to describe the activities conducted by alumni association with the title, date, and what is the outcome of the activity. Then second part of the description is expected to describe monetary and non-monetary contribution of the alumni association, that how many amount have been donated by alumni association, or non-monetary contribution in the form of that donated the computers, tables, boards, etc., etc. So that kind of non-monetary contribution is also expected to describe. Then the with specification, then this is what, with the help of these 2 points, the institution can elaborate the answer which is expected for this matrix. As far as documentation is concerned, registration of alumni association is mandatory. So probably without registered alumni, this matrix is not undertaken for the assessment. So that's why alumni association registration is mandatory, and it should be registered with the charity commission. So if the alumni association is registered with charity commission, then only the claim of this matrix is going to considered or undertaken for the assessment. So registration certificate, you have to provide as a document evidences. Second document, composition, list of the alumni association. Third document, alumni association minutes of the meeting in last 5 years. Activity report of alumni association with the photographs. Then the donation monetary, as the alumni association have been donated in the form of the amount, then audited statement of expenditure is also required to provide as a document evidences. Then report of non-monetary donation with the photographs. Here again, the institution is required to prepare the report of non-monetary donation, that the alumni association have been donated, the water purifier, the computers have been donated, board have been donated. So as like the special report is required to prepare non-monetary donation along with the photograph, that is also required to provide as a document evidences. And the link of college website, which have been already uploaded, with all these details concerned to the alumni association. So this link is also required to provide, because the 2 spaces have been provided for this matrix. One is asking to upload the additional information, all document in one PDF file you can upload here as additional information, and second space is specially for to paste the link. So this all document you can upload, you have to upload on your college website under the tab as alumni association, and the link of that you have to provide here. So this is all about criteria 5. Thank you very much. Any doubt, any question? The session is open for the question and answering.
Thank you so much, sir, for the crystal clear explanation of each and every parameter, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Sir, we are having a few queries, sir.
Please.
Regarding that career counseling as well as the competitive examinations, sir. So the beneficiaries means only the attendance or any qualifying that exam?
No, only attendance.
Only attendance.
That is not expected. The student will be qualified, they placed, they recruited. It is not required over there. Only the participant or the attendance is only required for that meetings.
Under student progression or the placement, sir. If a student, last year student, if he or she qualified this year, so can we claim, sir?
Yes, the student should be in an institution and a placement should be within an assessment period.
Okay.
So as far as this SSR is concerned,
They're asking
so the
latest completed academic year details only, no, sir?
Acha, latest completed means last year of the assessment period.
Yes, sir.
Last year of the assessment period, the student was for last year of the assessment period, and next 6 months, if the student is recruited somewhere, so that claim will be accepted.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Any queries from the participants?
Sir, we have a question in the chat box, sir. Retired staff and staff who resigned from college can also join in alumni association, or only students will be alumni, sir?
Normally, students should be the alumni. Ex-student. So, alumni association is not concerned with the staff. This is only concerned with the student.
Students of assessment period, sir?
Yes. If the before the employer of the institution, as they were student, okay, so then it is accepted. After the retirement, they can join as an alumni association, but they should be the student of the institution.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the participants?
Any
Samyukta?
So somebody can read the chat box also.
Sir, one more question, sir. Where shall we include achievement of students other than sports and culture, sir?
Achievement of the student you can include in criteria 3. So that is the incubation center is there, startup is there. So you can, so there is a good space for the achievement of the student apart from the sport and culture in criteria 3. If the research achievement will be there, so that is also applicable for criteria 3. So apart from the research achievements, you can include in an incubation center of criteria 3.
Sir, one more question, sir. When the competitions are conducted, in the list of participants, only the name is sufficient, or should it also have his or her signature, sir? One of the participants, sir.
It's a name of the participant. So wherever list of the participant is asked, and that is asked for the number of activities. See, the activities which are concerned with criteria 3, especially the outreach and exchange activities are there. Over there, only list can be provided, it is accepted. But rest of all activities which are in-house conducted by the institutions, over there, the student signature is also required. It's not mandatory that every activities should be provided with the attendance. It is not mandatory, but sometimes that is going to ask for during the DBB. That's why it is better to have ready with the institution in advance.
So good evening, sir. I have a question. So this is regarding the mandatory cells. Ours being a women's college, so far no ragging case has been reported. But would you advise that as part of the cells activities, should we also conduct some awareness programs regarding anti-ragging or the menace of ragging?
See, madam, as far as this ICC cell is concerned, this cell function should be related with the sexual harassment. See, it is not as like this should be there in an institution. So awareness should be among each and every stakeholder of the institution. Being a girl student, they must know what is the functioning of the sexual harassment. So that's why the sexual harassment should still have the awareness program related to the sexual harassment only.
How about anti-ragging, sir? Because there's no ragging incident reported at all.
Yes, yes. That's why I suggested in such a case, you can provide the undertaking of the principal.
From the principal. Okay, sir. Okay.
That due to the, again, you have to mention as like due to the awareness program which have been conducted by the respective cell, that there is no any such cases. Normally, naturally cases are not, but yes, we have to take the benefit of our activity.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, good evening, sir. In our Alumni Association bylaws, it is there, sir. The retired teaching staff may be join as co-opted members. So
co-opted member will be applicable. Co-opted member, anybody can be the co-opted member.
Okay,
and
sir.
it is mentioned in the bylaws. That is okay. That is accepted. Not an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, this is regarding the placement information. At times there are situations where these students get selected. We also have official mails from the companies saying that these students are selected. But however, at times students don't take up those opportunities. Now, should we consider this as placed or not placed?
So it is depend on institution policy, madam. Yes, I understood that the mail is issued by the institution that your student have been appointed or placed so and so. But
because
it depends on
as a college or as a placement cell, we have put the efforts, and the students also got selected, but students did not take it up because of XYZ reasons. But in that case, should that reflect or should that not?
So this question is not as like to give the answer on such a platform. If you are going to call me, then I will give the suggestions for this.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you.
My number is there mentioned below. You can call me, so I will suggest.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, are there any question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, one small doubt in key indicator 5.2.2. In SOP, they given us the average percentage between number of students appeared and number of students passed. But you told in different ways, sir. So which one is correct?
Regarding that, the examination, no? The national,
yes,
international
competitive examination. Yes, sir.
Yes, madam.
In SOP, they given
yes,
us
that is right. I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
So basically, earlier such kind of the calculation was there, but it was not so relevant. The feedback which have been received by the NAAC, due to the feedback in the recent manual, they have been revised calculation of this metric. So earlier, they were comparing with the number of students. See what the logic behind, let me tell you. So earlier calculation was as like the number of students passed and number of students appeared. So in the comparison of this, there was the calculation. But the institution was giving the number of the same student. Then the institution was giving the data, same number passed and appeared. That's why every institution was getting the 100% for that calculation. So earlier calculation was number of students appeared compared with number of students passed. So the institution were giving the same number of the student appeared with the number of student passed. So this has been notified by the NAAC. That's why in a recent manual, they have been revised the calculation. So the calculation methodology have been revised in the recent manual, and that I communicated with you.
Thank you, sir.
Doubt is clear, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
No further.
I think there are no any.
Yes, sir. So before
Yes, okay.
the formal vote of thanks, please accept our certificate of appreciation, sir, as a token of
Thank you.
gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. I'll accept the same.
So thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Shall I leave, madam?
Sir, now I invite Sai Ambika to propose formal vote of thanks to sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It gives me an immense pleasure to thank Professor Ayub Mahbub Sheikh, sir, for intense lecture on Criterion 5 student support and progression. Sir has explained about benchmarks, initiatives to be taken by institution, and documentation procedure of each metric related to Criterion 5. Sir has explained data templates of percentage of students benefited by scholarships, activities that are accepted under capacity building and skill enhancement, competitive examinations and career counseling, student progression and placement of outgoing students, and number of awards, medals in sports and activities that students given outstanding performances. And sir has discussed about QLM of Criterion 5 of a registered alumni association to develop the institution. Thank you, sir, for your crystal clear explanation and providing us with valuable information and knowledge on Criterion 5, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I thank all the participants for their active participation in the session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Our next speaker, Paragsha, sir, is going to talk on Criterion 1. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Now I invite Dr. A. Lalita Pravina, Assistant Professor, Member IQAC, to introduce today's speaker, Paragsha, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. I take the pleasure to invite today's second session speaker, Mr. Paragsha, who will be talking about Criterion 1 and giving all the insights regarding Criterion 1. Dr. Paragsha, he is a coordinator IQSC, PES Modern College, Ganeshkhind, Pune. Sir has a very rich experience of 23 years as full-time faculty in commerce. He has 15 years of experience as visiting faculty for functional Hindi vocational. Sir also has 9 years of industry experience to his credit. Some of the important positions held by Sir are: he is a founder, member and treasurer IQSC cluster. Sir is a life member of Indian Accounting Association, Vice President of Pune chapter of Indian Accounting Association. Sir is IQSC coordinator for Modern College, Ganeshkhind, Pune, and also member College Departmental Activity. Sir is also IQSC member for Indira Gandhi College of Engineering and Management, Parandwadi, Chandrasekhar Agashe College of Physical Education, Pune, Balaji College, Tatawade, Pune. Sir also coordinated 2 national seminars and 3 national webinars. Sir coordinated a short-term FDP conducted by UGC HRDC, conducted by Savitribai Phule University, for training of IQSC coordinators in the year 2018. Sir has been resource person for various sessions. For general orientation program conducted by UGC HRDC, SP Pune University. FDP is organized by UGC HRDC. FDP is organized by RUSA, Maharashtra, and various other higher educational institutions. He is a soft skill development. He also has been resource person for soft skill development program organized by various institutes. Many national and state level conferences, seminars, workshops for faculty or administrative staff. Sir is peer team member, academic and administrative audit for various higher educational institutions. Sir is a coordinator for soft skill development program, Modern College, then coordinator for BBA, BCA and MCA courses. He also received Best Teacher Award by Progressive Educational Society in the year Jan 2018. Sir has many publications to his credit. He has authored 4 books. He has written many articles and he also edited 4 books. Sir is also invited as chief guest for convocation ceremony for St. Vincent College of Commerce, which is ranked third in Diploma and Computer Management of Pune University. Sir's areas of consultancy include assessment of accreditation, soft skills, and translation. We welcome you, sir, and we are very proud to have you here. Now I hand over the session to you, sir. Over to you, Parag, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. May I first of all thank the organizers, Principal Dr. Achita Devi, Convener Dr. B. Anupama for organizing this session. Let us have discussion about the criteria number 1, curricular aspects. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So we are going to discuss about curricular aspect, the criteria number 1. Actually, before starting criteria number 1 or the curricular aspect, what requires is the first of all we have to upload some institutional information as the profile of the institution. Then before starting with any of the criteria inputs, we have to also upload the extended profile. In this extended profile, we have to upload few numerical values. The numerical values are related to the number of staff, the full-time faculty members, number of students, and other numerical values are required over there in that extended profile. Now, this extended profile is very much crucial and very much important for each and every criteria because it is related to all criteria. When they ask about number of students year-wise during last 5 years, we are going to upload the information for last 5 years, and they ask about the number of students per year. Because in many information, in many of the metrics, there is a question, percentage of students, percentage of teachers. So for calculation of percentage, a denominator is required which is taken directly by the system from this extended profile. So number of students, if you enter the number of students per year for year 1 so and so students, year 2 so and so students, year 3 so and so student, whenever you put some inputs in the quantitative metrics that so many students have undergone this type of training, I have completed these particular add-on programs or these particular activities, immediately the denominator is taken from this extended profile and then the percentage is directly calculated by the system. We are not supposed to calculate any percentage. So response is automatically generated. Therefore, extended profile is very important. The extended profile will also ask about the number of full-time teachers. Now, full-time teacher means the teacher who can engage minimum 90% of a workload for the post for which appointment is made. They are not asking about whether the teacher is permanent or temporary. See, a person who is appointed for the whole academic year, not for only one semester, but the whole academic year, and he has allotted the workload of minimum 90% of the workload which is normally assigned to a post where that person is appointed. Then we can call that person as a full-time teacher. Now, the requirement is the teacher should be for the whole academic year. It should not be the case that the person was in the second semester of the previous academic year and he was also continued in the first semester of the academic year and then he left the job. Then we can't calculate that person in the previous academic year as well or in this academic year as well, because he is not a full-time teacher throughout the academic year. Now here, while asking the list of teachers, they ask the list of teachers year-wise, separate list of teachers for all 5 years. At the same time, they also ask about the list of all teachers during the last 5 years without repetition. That means, suppose if I am working in my organization for the first year of the assessment period, I am also working in the second year, I am also working in the third year, I am also working in the fourth year and fifth year. So when year-wise list is required, my name will appear in each year's list. But when at a specific point, they are asking about, sorry, extremely sorry for that. So when they are asking about name should be provided without repetition, that means in this situation, I have to upload the information only one person should be repeated only once in that list. And for all 5 years, whether the person is now working in your organization or he has left the job, you have to include the name of that person in that list. So maybe your organization is having 100 people working currently in your organization, but in last 5 years there were 130 teachers who have worked within the span of these 5 years. Few may have joined the organizations, few may have left the organization. Currently, the current situation is you are having 100 teachers in your organization, but in last 5 years, there were total 130 teachers. So you can provide the list of 130 teachers separately, where they are asking about without repetition, and there is separate provision where they are asking about the teachers list should be year-wise. On that basis, they are going to do their calculations. At the same time, the extended profile will also ask for the expenditure component. Now here, the accountant should be very careful. We have to provide the accounting, audited accounting statements to as the documentary evidence for this particular case. And there should be proper heading in the audited balance sheet as well as audited income and expenditure statement about the requirement that is there in the NAAC manual. So tell your accountant to look at that SOP, standard operating practices, and it is specifically mentioned that the expenditure is required excluding salary component for augmentation of infrastructure and for maintenance of infrastructure. That means your income and expenditure statement should reflect these 3 different heads: expenditure on salary, expenditure on augmentation of infrastructure, and expenditure on maintenance of infrastructure. So that 3 different heads should be reflected in your income expenditure statement. Maybe these heads may have different subgroups or sub accounts under them, but these 3 heads should prominently displayed on your institutional income and expenditure statement. That needs to be taken care of, because that is going to have impact on many metrics in almost all criteria. So wherever the percentage of expenditure is going to be calculated, they are going to take denominator from this extended profile. Whenever the percentage of students is going to be calculated, they are going to take denominator from extended profile. Whenever percentage of teachers is going to be calculated, they are going to take denominator from this extended profile. So extended profile needs to be we have to fill the extended profile very carefully. Let us start discussion about criteria number 1. Actually, criteria 1 has 4 key indicators. The first indicator is curriculum planning and implementation. While if we discuss about the affiliated institutions, the curriculum is designed and developed by the universities, and they have to just implement whatever is designed and developed by the university. It means they don't have any say in that particular curriculum. So in that situation, how the curriculum is delivered or carried out to the students very effectively, what are the unique features of the organization to carry out that curriculum towards the advanced learners, towards the gradual learners, and all these things are discussed over here in this first criteria, first key indicator of the first criteria. So the first question here is related to the institution ensures effective curriculum planning. Curriculum is designed by the university. Now you have to plan how to deliver that effectively. effective curriculum planning. That means here this component requires planning procedure and delivery. Okay, so again, how effectively you are going to deliver the curriculum, that is also needs to be discussed in this answer for this particular question. Through a well planned, that means how you have planned for all these activities, that needs to be explained in this question. Well planned and documented process. That means whatever you have planned, it should be supported with the documents. And at the same time, as we know that every academic institution has to prepare the academic calendar, and there is continuous internal assessment that is recommended by UGC, and we also conduct these continuous internal assessment. So how we follow the academic calendar that normally is prepared before the accounting year, before the academic year starts. At the same time, whether we stick to that academic calendar, whether we follow that academic calendar meticulously for the conduct of continuous internal assessment or not. So all these things need to be discussed properly in this answer. This is a qualitative question, so we have to answer the question in maximum 500 words. So effective curriculum planning and delivery can be done in 3 different parts. The curriculum planning can be done at the institutional level. We have to prepare the academic calendar. The institutional academic calendar will be prepared on a broader basis. Then at the departmental level, some minute planning will be done for as per the requirement of that particular department or that particular faculty, if it is a multi-faculty institution. And then after the academic calendar of the department is prepared, then every individual teacher will prepare his or her own academic calendar. So the planning will be done at 3 different levels: institutional level, departmental level, and individual. And what type of documents are required, or we can show that these are the various documents wherein we can provide the documentary evidence that whatever activities we have carried out, whatever the curriculum we have delivered or carried out towards the students, it is well planned and it is a documented process. So we need to prepare the academic calendar, we need to prepare our teaching plans, we have to keep a record of all departmental meetings wherein all these decisions will be taken. In the departmental meeting, the workload allotment will be discussed, it will be written in that departmental minutes of the meeting. Then learning outcomes will be designed. You have already discussed these learning outcomes in criteria number 2. So the learning outcomes are designed, they are discussed, they are issued and they are available on the website for the students as well as for the staff. So every teacher should know the learning outcome of his or her own curriculum. And the timetable will also be prepared for the institution as a whole, then for a faculty, if it is a multi-faculty college, then for the department, then for the individual class and individual teachers. So it can be a multiple level timetable. It also reflects how effectively you use the available infrastructure. If the timetable is busy right from morning till evening for any institution, that shows that you have used the available infrastructure to the optimum level. Then the attendance record of teachers can also be the documentary evidence of effective curriculum delivery. And the teaching learning resources. The curriculum delivery can be effective only if the teaching learning resources are made available to the faculty members. So what type of teaching learning resources are made available so that the teachers can effectively deliver the curriculum, that we can mention. That means what is the situation of IT infrastructure, how many LCD projectors, how many smart boards, how many smart rooms, or whether the institution is having any recording facility for capturing the lectures. So all these things need to be mentioned over here so that we provide all these resources for the purpose of effective curriculum delivery. Now there is one more thing. We need to plan for certain courses. We need to plan bridge courses. Now, bridge courses are the courses which are normally designed. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. So bridge courses are normally designed for the students, those who are going to enter your institution from some other stream. It is quite possible now in the new education policy, this multiple entry and multiple exit is going to happen. So many students may change their stream. Many students from other stream will come to your stream, or your stream students may also go to another stream. So bridge courses are normally carried out for those students who are from other stream, to give them certain knowledge about some basic concepts. Because when they are going to join your stream, let us take one example. If a science student, he has completed his 10 plus 2 exam, or the higher secondary examination from science team, and now he has changed his mind, and he has entered either art stream or commerce stream for the graduation. So maybe the student is not aware about the basic concepts of that particular stream where he has taken his admission. The other students in the class, maybe from the same stream, they are well versed with the basic concepts of that particular stream, and they may immediately grasp whatever is going on in the class. But the student who are from other stream, they may not grasp that subject very well. They may feel that the other students are going fast and we can't cope up with those students, just because of they don't have that much knowledge about that particular stream. That doesn't mean that they don't have any knowledge. That doesn't mean that they are slow learners. They are good advanced learners. They are very bright students, but they are from other stream and they are not knowing about the basic concepts of that particular stream in which they have taken the admission. So bridge courses are normally designed to give that type of input to the students. So some basic concepts about the particular stream, if the student is from other stream, will be given over there in these bridge courses. And then the students, the understanding level of the students will be matched to the other students in the class. So this is normally offered at entry level. For the first year undergraduation course, bridge courses are normally offered. So when a student enters the undergraduate course and he undergoes this bridge course, his understanding level will be at par with the other students from the same stream, and then he can also cope up with the other students. Whatever is going on in the normal sessions, normal lecture periods, he will or she will also cope up with all these activities. For that, bridge courses are normally designed. Now, normally asked question regarding bridge courses. I will give some answers directly to frequently asked questions so that your questions will be solved immediately. Still, if there are any questions, we can take it at the end of the session. The normal question for this bridge course is, what should be the duration of bridge course? Whether the bridge course should be for a specific number of duration, specific number of hours. There is nothing such type of hard and fast rule. Bridge course is on need basis. So the teacher should understand what I want to deliver to the student, what type of basic concepts I have to communicate that to that particular student, and how the student is taking that particular concept, how the student is going to grasp that concept, at what speed. That will decide the duration of the bridge course. The curriculum of the bridge course should be decided by the respective teacher. There is no hard and fast rule for bridge courses. Whether the bridge course should be offered to the students free of cost or it should be charged, that is the decision of the management. We are not the decision makers. So let the management should take the decision whether we have to charge it for the students or whether we have to offer it free of cost to the students. So all these things are there. Now, once you start teaching in your class, regular classes, the teacher may interact with the students. The teacher may have some regular assessment. Maybe periodic assessments will be taken. Some projects, some assignments will be given to students. Some presentations will be taken. Some discussions, some group discussions will be taken, or the students will be given some assignments. On that basis, or on the basis of some diagnostic tests, we can find out the advanced learners and we can find out the graduate learners. If it is quite possible that a student who is a graduate learner in one particular course may be advanced learner in another course. Or some of the students are very much bright in numerics. They get good number of marks in numerics, but they are not that much comfortable with theoretical subjects. So they may not get that much number of marks in theoretical subjects. Some of the students are exactly opposite. They may get good number of marks in theoretical subject, but they are very weak in numericals. So for every course, this identification needs to be done. So every teacher has to make this assessment in first initial phase of the undergraduate course, and then they have to identify, for my course, these are the 10 students who need some special guidance because they are graduate learners. Some students are advanced learners, so I need to give them some challenging activities like quiz or paper presentations or projects or something else which will challenge their capabilities because they are advanced learners. For the graduate learners, we can provide some remedial courses. That means again the subject teacher needs to form some additional inputs that can be provided to only that batch of 10 students, so that at least these 10 students will be comfortable with that particular subject and they can increase their standard of marks just because of the additional inputs, additional type of work that we have to take on those students. They may gain certain number of marks over there. So that is called as a remedial course. So a person or the students who are graduate learners, for them we can design these remedial courses, but it will be only after certain type of evaluation of the students after maybe 1, 2 or 3 months, as per the case be. Again, the same situation. What should be the duration of remedial courses? What should be the curriculum of the remedial courses? It is on the need basis. How much additional input you want to provide to the students, that will decide the duration. What type of additional inputs you are going to provide, that will decide the curriculum of that remedial course. Definitely, for bridge course and remedial course, for both these courses, you need to keep the proper record that you have conducted this bridge course or remedial course. You need to provide some attendance and then outcome of these courses. Now again, the same thing for the remedial courses, whether it should be charged or it should be given free of cost, it is the decision of your management. You can also provide the students with some question banks so that the students can prepare for those questions. They will be well prepared for their examinations. You can also provide previous year question papers to them. Academic activity plans can be done. So sometimes we can give students some additional inputs. We can have some role plays. We can have some games through which we can deliver some activity. We can deliver some part of the curriculum by activity-based teaching or game-based teaching, or it can be the role play type teaching. So all these things can also be planned, and you can show that these were the plans that we have done and we have conducted these activities for the students for effective curriculum delivery. So every teacher does this, but the requirement is you need to provide for the record. You need to keep the proper attendance of all these things. You need to keep the notices of these type of activities, role plays, games, whatever you are conducting. You need to have that documented evidence with you. And result analysis is the best thing to show that yes, we have delivered our curriculum effectively. Teachers' diary, how the teachers are planning for the curriculum delivery and how they have delivered the curriculum. The teachers' diary, which is regularly evaluated or verified by the authorities, different authorities in the institution, that is also important. Whether the dates of internal assessment are communicated in advance through the academic calendar or not, and whether the institution has adhered to that academic calendar. Whatever you have planned at the beginning of the academic year, whether you have followed that timeline or not, that needs to be mentioned in the first question, because it is a qualitative question for 500 words. So all these things you need to include in 500 words. It's very difficult if you have a lot of activities, it is very difficult to include these things in your 100 words. Now it is the skill of your teachers or the person who is going to draft this particular answer. Now the second key indicator, it is related to academic flexibility. So what type of flexibility you offer to your students? What type of additional enrichment programs that you offer to your students? So number of certificate value-added programs offered and online MOOC programs like SWAYAM or NPTEL, etc., where the students of the institution have benefited during last 5 years. Now here, previously in this particular question, only certificate and value-added programs were mentioned, and the now in this new manual they have accepted the SWAYAM and NPTEL courses, because many times the teachers used to tell the students that these type of courses are available, programs are available, and students do complete those programs, but it were never counted till now. But now in this new manual, they are counting these type of MOOCs and SWAYAM and NPTEL courses as well. So what is required for this question? So as it is a quantitative question, here the number game is there. What is required is number of, how many number of courses or programs you are offering to your students. Now the minimum requirement is all these courses should be of minimum 30 hours duration, or even it can be more than 30 hours duration. If you are offering a certificate course of 3 hours duration, that will not be accepted, or 5 hours or 6 hours duration, 10 hours duration, that will not be accepted over here for this question. So here what is required is minimum 30 hours duration programs are required. You need to produce the brochure or the pamphlet or the leaflet that you have prepared for that program, or the certificate or value-added program that you offer to your students. Now let me explain the value added. Value added is which is going to add some value, which is going to provide some value education to the students. That is called as value added course. Or add-on or certificate program means which is going to add the knowledge to the existing curriculum. Many times it happens that we know that the curriculum is designed and developed by the university, but sometimes it happens that the very latest things are not included in that curriculum. We do comment on that particular curriculum. The curriculum is outdated because the recent trends, recent knowledge is not included in that curriculum, and we don't have any say because we have to follow the curriculum designed and developed by the university. Unless until you are the autonomous institution, you don't have any say over there. So what else you can do is, okay, the curriculum is outdated, it is lacking some recent knowledge of a particular course. Definitely you can offer that through add-on program or add-on course. So you can design your own certificate program for minimum 30 hours duration, and on that basis you can offer the add-on or certificate programs. Now one more thing is important over here. It should be a non-credit course, that it should not be a part of regular university curriculum. This course must be done for getting so and so type of credits. So maybe 1 credit or 2 credits courses which are mentioned in the curriculum, that will not be accepted at all. So here we need to give all the details, how many number of courses we have offered in last 5 years. Now, if you want to get the maximum score for this particular question, minimum 25 or more than 25 programs needs to be offered to the students during last 5 years. So what is required is minimum 25 programs are required. Now percentage of now this 1.2.1 and 1.2.2 are interlinked with each other. The second question is also related to the previous question. When the same certificate programs, add-on programs or validated programs are required, and in this case what is required is that they are asking about how many percentage of students from your institution have gone for these programs or they have opted these programs. Now, as I told you that percentage, whenever they are going to ask about percentage, if you say 500 of our students have gone for these programs, you can see that 500 is a very big number. But when you say that we have 6,000 students or 5,000 students on the campus on a particular year, in a particular year, and you are claiming that 500 students have gone for these add-on or certificate programs, that means only 10% students are undertaking these add-on or certificate programs. Only 500 number is bigger one, but when it is compared with the total number of students of your institution, the percentage becomes very less, and then you are going to lose your marks. So now what is required is that if at all you want to get good score for this question, number of students enrolled in these add-on or validated programs, minimum 50% of your students need to go for these type of add-on or certificate programs. So for this, you can have a proper strategy. You can decide that, okay, in the first year, every first year student of so and so faculty should do one, two, or three add-on programs. You can decide. These are the 3 add-on programs. Any student of the first year for so and so faculty should at least take one of the 3 available courses. In the second year, again, one add-on program you can offer them, and the student can choose whatever the options are available. Student can choose among them, and they can adopt that particular program. In the final year or so, they can choose from the available options, and they can complete that program. You can make them compulsory, so that the number of percentage of students who are going to take these add-on programs will reach up to 50% or even more than 50%. Then only you can get full marks for this question. The additional information that is required to be uploaded along with the DVV sheet, that is Excel sheet, is name of the add-on program or course that you have offered to the students, its duration. I told you that it should be minimum 30 hours duration. The curriculum that you have delivered, if that program is having some assessment process or you are going to take some assessment of the students. So what is the assessment procedure? What is the outcome of the program? After delivering that particular add-on program or certificate program, what students have gained or what is their feedback, students' feedback, that is also important. You can also provide the list of enrolled students so that how many students have enrolled over there. Now, one more thing, in 1 year, one student will be counted once. So if one student has completed 4 add-on programs in 1 academic year, he will be counted as one student. He will be not, the student will not be counted in 4 different activities. So it will not be counted as 4 students have done this activity. Only one student has completed 4 programs and not 4 students have completed 1 program. Attendance record of students is required along with their institutional ID number, because the NAAC is going to verify the attendance list with the student's ID number. And definitely, if we are offering additional programs through some certificate or validated programs, definitely you are going to provide them certificates. So you need to have the soft copies of all these certificates ready with you, so that whenever the DVV partner is going to ask for few certificates, DVV partner may choose, if you provide the attendance list, DVV partner may choose randomly 5-10 numbers, 5-10 name of the students, and they will ask about the certificates. Please provide the certificate of these 5 students. They will provide you the names and they will ask for the certificates. If you need the soft copies of the certificates. Before issuing these certificates to the students, you need to keep the soft copies with you. And the students' feedback, whether they really like that particular add-on program or not, and what they have gained, and what are their suggestions for even more improvement. So 1.1, 2.1, and 1.2.2 are based on each other. The first one asks about how many number of programs you offer, and in the second question they are asking about how many students actually are involved in these type of programs. And we know that minimum 50% of the students are required to get engaged in these programs, and then only you are going to get good number of marks. Now it is up to the teachers how you convince your students. It is very difficult. I know it is very difficult to convince the students. It is very difficult to convince the students to attend minimum 75% of the regular classes. On again, we have to also make them or motivate them to attend these additional programs. So it is very difficult, but somehow we have to manage it to get the number of marks. Let's move to the next part. The third key indicator of first criteria, curriculum enrichment. So how you can enrich your curriculum, existing curriculum. Institution integrates cross-cutting issues related to professional ethics, gender, human values, environment and sustainability in transacting the curriculum. That means we have to identify all our courses, we have to identify the curriculum designed and developed by the university, and we have to identify the areas where the mention of these cross-cutting issues are there. So whether a particular curriculum may have some professional ethics mentioned over there, some gender equalities addressed over there in that curriculum. So for all these cross-cutting issues, what type of activities you are going to conduct within your campus, that needs to be written in 500 words. Qualitative question. So all these cross-cutting issues, that means how you develop your students as a good citizen by giving these values, by tackling with these cross-cutting issues, by making them aware about these cross-cutting issues, that these are the cross-cutting issues. You should be a good citizen. You should not undergo with the gender biasness. So there should be a gender equality. There should be some values that needs to be inculcated among students. So what type of activities you are going to conduct? It can be a guest session, it can be some group discussions, it can be some quiz competitions, it can be street plays, any type of activities to address all these cross-cutting issues. So first of all, identify the curriculum in all your programs, in all your courses. Identify the curriculum where at least some of the other mention of these cross-cutting issues are there. Even the cyber security is also one of the cross-cutting issues. You can identify it in the different curriculum, and then how you have tackled all these situations and how you have delivered these things to your students, that needs to be highlighted in 500 words. Next question is related to percentage of students undertaking project work, field work, or internship. Now, project work is sometimes given by the institution, sometimes it is from some industry. So if industry offers you some project and your students are doing that project, that can be a project work. If a student is having some project work already mentioned in the curriculum, that he has or she has to do it for completion of that particular course, that can be a project. Some science departments may have to go for field work. They have to actually go to a particular field. They have to actually work over there. They have to do some work over there, and they have to do the research and at that particular field. So that is called as field work. Internship can be your students are going to actually work in some of the other organizations related to their stream. So the students may go to some companies, some organizations, some banks, or some other enterprises where they will learn actual transactions, where they will learn actual situation of the industry. That will be called as internships. So for this question, they are asking about the data for latest completed academic year. That means the last academic year in your accreditation process. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. So this data should be only for the 5th year of your accreditation cycle. Now, what requires is you have to give the list of students program wise. So for project work, these are the students from so and so program. Programs are BA, BCom, BSc, MA, MCom, MSc, like that. These are the programs. Or MBA, BE, like that. These are the programs. So program wise, you have to provide the list of students, those who are either going for project work or for field work or for internships. Then you have to also provide the title of the project. If the program, that means this list will be a very exhaustive list. I know that in our case, then when we prepared this list, it went up to 75,000 or more entries, because the program, then the name of the student and the title of the project or the field work or the internship which he or she has done. All these things are mentioned over there. Then the place, if it is a project, then what is the title of the project? The place of the work. Either the project is done in our own campus or it is done in some other institution. That place of work which needs to be mentioned. Then the permission letters. If you are going for a field work, you are actually going out of the campus to a particular field, maybe a particular common area or public place, you need to take some permission to work on that public place from the local authorities or some other authorities over there in that particular area. So that permission letter is also required. Sample photographs of the fieldwork, because you are actually going to work somewhere else. So you can click the photographs. If the photographs are geotagged, that will be even more better, so that it can be identified at that particular place the fieldwork was carried out. Then we have to prepare a short report of the field work or the project work or the internship that we have conducted. Objective behind all these programs. Now, normally the objective is to give the hands-on experience to the students, because this is the practical experience they are going to get, and that is going to bridge the gap between the industry and academia. So, what are the objectives behind this field work or project work or internship that you need to mention? Then outcome of the activity after field work, if you have given some suggestions to the local authority, to the state government or some other situations, then definitely what is the outcome of your field work or project work? If you have done a project for a particular industry, whether it worked in that particular industry, whether the industry accepted that project or not, and they are actually using that project. If your students have developed a particular software for the industry, and whether they are actually using that software, or your students have developed software for your own institution and you are using that, that can be the best outcome that you can show. Definitely after the project completion of project work or internship, normally the students get their certificates. If the internship is done in some other organization, other institutions, those institutions provide the certificates of internship. You need to keep the soft copies of these certificates of internship, because DVB partner can at any time ask you about the certificates of the listed students. They may pick few number of students from the list that you have provided, and they will ask, provide the certificates of these 10 students. So you need to identify those 10 students, then you have to need to find out the certificate of these students, and you have to upload it again when they are asking about the queries. Now these queries are just to verify whether whatever the information you have provided is true or not. that is a test checking. Randomly they will pick few the name of students, and they will ask certificates about those students. That's it. Here also, one student will be counted as one student, one count for 1 year. If one student himself or herself is engaged in project work also in the same academic year, or maybe for one course they have completed project work, for the another course they have completed field work, for the another course they have completed internship. They have 5-6 different courses in their final year, and they have completed 3 different kinds of activities in one single academic year. But still the student is one, so the count will be one. It will not be 3 count, it will be 1 count. And in this situation, what is expected is, out of the total number of students in your institution, minimum 35% of students should go for this project work, field work, or internship. Then only you will be eligible for the highest score for this. Now, if the internship is for the job placement, that will not be accepted for this question. So we have to remember all these activities. Let us move to the last key indicator of this particular criteria number 1. Institution obtains feedback on the academic performance and the ambience of the institution from various stakeholders. Now they are asking about the feedback from 4 different stakeholders: students, teachers, employers of your students, not your own employers, and alumni. Now the feedback collected over here for criteria number 1 will be basically based on the academic performance, on the curriculum, as well as the ambience of the institution. It is not the student satisfactory survey which is included in criteria number 2. That is different, and the feedback collected in criteria number 1 is different. So you need to collect feedback from all 4 stakeholders. That is compulsory. Because if you collect feedback only from 3 or 2 stakeholders, you will not be eligible to get full marks over here. Now, what is required is that you need to upload. Whenever you are going to upload, that yes, we have taken feedback from all 4 stakeholders, and this is the action taken report, this is the analysis report. You need to also upload at least 3 filled in forms for this question, so that yes, we have taken feedback from students, from teachers, from employers, from alumni. Now, nowhere NAAC says about how many percentage of students should give feedback. Try to get the feedback from maximum number of students. It is your skill to get the feedback from maximum number of students, so that it will be a true analysis of the feedback. But it is reality that 100% students are not going to give that feedback. So we can't increase the number of students to 100%, but at least you should take some sort of efforts to take feedback from maximum number of students. And out of these, randomly pick 3 filled forms and upload it from students category, from teachers category, your own teachers. You can take feedback from your own teachers. You can take feedback from the employers who have recruited your passed out students, not your own employers, but employers who have recruited your passed out students, because they know whatever you have taught, whatever you have prepared, whatever is your final product, how that final product, whether that final product of your institution, that means a student passing out from your institution, is capable of doing the or satisfying the needs of the employers or not. So they will definitely comment on the curriculum. Your curriculum is lacking in these 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So you need to provide them these many inputs, so that the students will be industry ready. They will get good job opportunities in the global market. So your employers can definitely give you these type of feedbacks. Again, how many number of employers feedback should be taken? Nowhere it is mentioned, but try to take maximum number of feedback from employers as well. Alumni, these are your own students. You can take the feedback from them also. So you need to take feedback from all 4 stakeholders. That is for sure. And only taking feedback is not sufficient. If you take the feedback, it needs to be analyzed. You must analyze that feedback. You must take some action on that feedback. Now, action taken report on the feedback has 2 different poles. If the feedback is on the curriculum and some of the stakeholders are telling you that the curriculum is outdated, then it is required that these 1, 2, 3, 4 points needs to be delivered to the students, needs to be given to the students so that the students will be industry ready, students will be globally competent. Definitely, you can take action against that feedback. One is you can immediately communicate to your affiliating university, viewers members of your affiliating university, that these are the feedbacks that we have received. So please, whenever next time you are going to revise your curriculum, please include these points in the curriculum. Take the received signature from the academic section of your university. That is one action. If maybe in the next revision of syllabus they have taken cognizance and then they have included these points in the curriculum, it is the best documentary evidence that yes, we have sent a letter on so and so date, and in this particular next revision of the syllabus, university has included these points in their syllabus, in their curriculum. So action taken is fulfilled. The second action that you can take, because you are not going to change the curriculum outright in one day, you are going to communicate it to the university. The university will say, just now in the previous year only we have revised the curriculum. Now the next revision will be after 3 years or 4 years. You should not wait till that. Okay, let it be. We have done our job. We have communicated to the academic section. We have communicated these feedbacks to the viewers members. The best action that we can take is we can have our own add-on certificate program for minimum 30 hours duration. Again, so if we do that, that will be the fulfillment of this particular question. At the same time, one more add-on program is added, and in the previous question also, where they are asking about how many number of add-on and certificate programs are offered to the students, we can add these programs over there. So if you take one action, you can get the benefit in 2 different questions and get the good number of marks over there. And whatever action you have taken, whatever analysis of feedback you have done, it should be available on the website so that the stakeholders, those who have given you feedback, they may visit your website, they may check, yes, I have given the feedback and the cognizance has been taken by the institution. They have, that means whatever I am saying, they are accepting that, they are taking some action against that. So I am satisfied. So your feedback and action taken report should be available on the website and should be communicated to the respective stakeholders as well. Yes, your feedback is taken. We have taken your feedback. We have taken the cognizance of the suggestions that you have given, and we have taken this action against the feedback. So if you collect feedback from all stakeholders, if you analyze all of them, if you take some action against them, and the action taken report is made available on the website, you will get full marks for this question. Okay, so, and the most important thing is that these feedback reports needs to be uploaded on your own website. If the feedback report is available on the website of some other institution and you provide the link of that other institution, NAAC is not going to accept it. It should be on the your own website. So this is how we have to complete for the criteria number 1. We have to discuss about the criteria number 1. If you have any more doubts, I think I have already given the probable answers to the most frequently asked questions, but still you may have some questions, and if the time permits we can have discussion. Otherwise my email as well as phone number is also available. I am also available on these 2 things. The same number is on WhatsApp. So over to you, Anupama madam.
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, I have doubts, sir, regarding that autonomous manual. In autonomous manual, they have given that 1.3.1, sir, regarding this human values, environment and sustainability, professional ethics, gender issues. So the question is, institution integrates cross-cutting issues relevant to professional ethics, gender, human values, environment and the sustainability into the curriculum. So here we have to mention only the courses which we are offering in the curriculum, or any activities related to these issues can we write, sir?
For affiliated institutions, you have to search for the curriculum of the university where these things are mentioned. For your case, you are autonomous. So in your autonomous syllabus or autonomous curriculum, wherever you have made mention about these cross-cutting issues, you have to identify those courses and how you tackle with them. For that, what type of activities you conduct, that you need to mention over here.
So that activity
Affiliated as well as autonomous. The thing is different that autonomous have their own curriculum. So you have to identify your own courses wherein these things are identified, or these things are at least some sort of mention in your curriculum.
Against each course, some activity we have to mention, sir, some description in the list.
No need of mentioning for this course. This is, you can identify out of, you can say that out of 500 courses that we offer to our students, 110 courses are having some cross-cutting issues integrated in that particular curriculum. And for these cross-cutting issues, we conduct these mini activities.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Any questions from the
Chat box? There's a question in the chat box.
Yes.
You said feedback form should be provided, but if they filled Google form, then how do we fulfill this point? Regarding, I think, feedback collected from the stakeholders.
You can take a printout of the Google form. One thing. Otherwise, for few feedback forms which you are going to upload, you can take it offline. Others can be online. Okay, you want to upload maybe 5 to 10 feedback forms. So at least 5-10 feedback forms should be offline on paper, the traditional feedback forms, and the remaining feedback forms can be online. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There's one more question. Can you tell what employee feedback is? I think from Ms. Vidyulata.
It is employer's feedback, not employee.
Okay, I think R got missed here.
Your own students. When your students passed out from your institution and they have joined some other organization, from those recruiters, you need to take some feedback. I think Kavitha has raised her hand.
Good evening, sir. I have a doubt regarding projects.
Yeah.
Sir, is it mandatory that every student project that we get it done, there has to be a certificate from an external body, external organization?
Necessary. You can have your own certificate, your institution certificate. Yes. Somebody should authenticate that so and so student has completed this project. Either the head of the institution, either the head of the department. Someone should take the responsibility. Yes, so and so student has completed this project.
Okay. So if a student does a project, then if our principal certifies that so and so student has done a project on so and so topic, is that sufficient, sir, for NAAC purpose?
Normally, when we conduct the projects, maybe it is they have to submit a project file or project report, and that project file or project report has a certificate page.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is sufficient. Just take a soft copy of that certificate page available with you. Oh, and when you are going to complete the project work, definitely there will be some project viva based on that project. At the time of viva, you are going to submit those project files or project reports with you. So you have that certificate with you only.
Right, sir. No, my only doubt is, should there always be an outside organization to certify?
Necessary, not necessary.
Okay, thank you, sir. That was my doubt. Thank you very much.
One question. Can add-on courses be called as 2 credit courses?
Yes. I think Dr. Jyoti has raised her hand. And someone iPhone.
Yes, sir. Can add-on courses be called as 2 credit courses? That's what is the question.
Yeah. That depends on the either the institution, or if it is autonomous institution, that depends whether your academic council provides for that, or for the university, if you want to give them or credits, whether the university has that provision to give these add-on credits or not. Else it is nothing but the additional knowledge that you are going to provide to the students.
Lalita? Can you unmute?
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir. Like for PG feedback collection, like employer feedback will be like the student who is doing the job, there the employer will be giving the feedback. But for UG courses, like if a student is joining in MSc course, like should we collect from the HOD or principal of that college where the student is pursuing higher studies?
No.
Like we have a doubt, like employer for UG courses, we can't get, no, sir?
See, employer's feedback is the feedback that should be taken from where your students are actually working.
Yes.
Their job. And everyone knows that 100% students are not going to go for job. Some students may go for employment. Some students may go for the higher studies.
Yes, sir. In the case of higher studies, like we need not take the feedback from.
Not needed. Employer's feedback means only the feedback from the employers where your students are actually working. That's it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Samyuk.
Sir, good evening, sir. I just had the same question. Like, there's always a confusion when we talk about the employer's feedback. Now, when we talk about the employer's feedback, is it the HR team who comes for the campus recruitment are the ones who are eligible to give the feedback,
Definitely.
or is it the manager?
Definitely. There is no definition of employer. HR team or the manager of the particular organization where your students are working, anyone can give the feedback.
Okay, and sorry, sir, please go ahead.
Give you one example. Many times we conduct the placement drives in our campus. So whenever the companies visit your campus, some HR representatives will visit your campus. They will take interviews of your students and they will give you the feedback. So it is on the campus itself, you will directly get the feedback from the employers, and at that time you can collect the feedback offline on the paper, so that whenever it is required to upload, you have some feedback on paper format. Otherwise, for other employers, you can send the Google form link and get the feedback online.
Okay. And sir, also just a small question, clarification that I thought I should be asking in this platform. Like, there are a lot of times now with this COVID situation, there are a lot of times where we are doing online campus interviews. And for example, if I'm talking about a company like Infosys, where they don't come to campus directly and everything happens online, wherein there is no interaction between the HR and the placement officer. It's only through messages that we get and we do it. Now, in those cases, is it mandatory that we should collect from every employer, or is it okay that we collect it from whomever we are able to?
You can make appeal to the employers. It is definitely 100% employers are not going to give you any feedback. You just make an appeal. Whoever gives you, just collect it. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
So regarding this feedback from employers, this feedback pertains to feedback on curriculum alone. Isn't it, sir? Right now in this context.
Yes. Criteria one, it relates to curriculum.
Yes, sir. Because we are referring to criterion 1. So in this context, can we take feedback from prospective employers, that is the industry, who might be on the board, who might be on various committees also? I think because they are the ones who suggest the curriculum changes based on the industry needs and employees together.
Of course you can.
Right.
So there are a few more questions in the chat box.
Yes.
Salama madam is asking, is there any qualification that should be there for a guide to guide a project of the students?
That will be decided by the respective faculty or the university guidelines. the guidelines of that particular institution. I can't comment on that particular situation. Who will be the person to guide the students?
Okay, sir. I think there's one more question for which I think Vijay ma'am just now queried. Vidyalata ma'am is asking, should the immediate place students' employers' feedback be taken? Or is it to take it from 2 to 3 years passed out students?
2 3 years passed out students will be even more better. Even if you take it from the immediate students, at least the student should work over there at least for 6 months, 4 to 5 months, so that at least the employer will get some idea about what exactly the qualities your student is having, how much time he has to spend on the training of your student. So when you send your product to the industry, many times the industry people, they have to train your students to adjust those students for the industry requirement. So they will definitely comment on the curriculum that yes, we need to spend so many months, maybe 2 months, 3 months for training of your students. So if you provide all these things before the student comes to my industry, I will save my time. So it is.
And there's one more question.
No problem.
Thank you, sir. One more question from Anupama madam. Sir, should we keep all the project reports of the students in the college every year?
If it is in soft copy, it is okay, but at least till the peer team visit happens, let it be with you.
Okay.
But we don't know when the peer team is going to ask for which type of project or document. So let it be with you. You can then discard these projects. If you have a soft copies of the project, then there will not be any issue regarding the space. But definitely the hard copies of the project will be a space. If there is a space constraint, it will be a definitely issue. But you have to tackle with that particular issue.
Yes. Do we have any more questions from the participants? So one more raised hand. I think that's it, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I just have one question, sir. This is, sir, regarding the collection of feedback from the teachers. So should we collect from the teachers who taught the course, or should we collect from the academic peers?
Yes, you can collect it from the academic paper. At least the person should know the course. If I am from commerce stream and if someone is asking me about the feedback of any science particular course, how is it possible? How can I give that feedback?
Actually, the course is designed by the teachers or by the university. So if you are asking for them to give the feedback, they were saying that we only designed the course. So then how can we give a feedback on it?
You are not supposed to take feedback from the person who has designed that curriculum. The other teachers, or else if such type of teacher is not available in your institution, you can have some feedback from other institutions' teachers.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So can I ask a question? Yeah, this is Vidyalata speaking once again. I have a small doubt in offering the certificate courses. Should the colleges get the certifications authenticated by any external agency, or is it okay for the colleges to give their own certificates? Is that authentication accepted?
If your institution is autonomous, you can issue your own certificates, or it can be your parent institution can authenticate that certificate.
What about affiliated colleges, sir?
For affiliated colleges, if it is not going to be counted in the credit, you can have the certificates in your own name.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Because that is just going to add some knowledge to your students.
Yes.
That is going to add some extra things or extra values to the students, and that is just documentary evidence that a student has completed the course. Student can use it for his CV, At the same time, you can also use it for the documentation purpose.
Thank you, sir.
I think there's one more question, sir. Is MOU mandatory for certificate courses?
Not mandatory, but if it is there, it is well and good, because NAAC also asks for the MOUs. So if you have MOU for the certificate courses, you can also claim, yes, we have certificate courses and these are the MOUs, and then you can show that the MOUs are functional. But it is not mandatory. You can have your own certificate courses.
Good evening, sir. The faculty guiding the students for project work should be a PhD holder. And if not, in that case, will the signature of the particular faculty on the project be valuable? I think you've already answered this question, sir.
There is no such type of hard and fast rule. It needs to be decided by the university who can be the guide of the project. See, a PhD holder can be a guide for the research student, but for project work, there can be any person can be the guide who is having that much capability.
For intern, should we have MOU? Internship, I think.
Yeah. For internship, for field work, for project work, whether the MOU should be signed or not, that is up to the institute. Because every now and then, whenever you are going to sign any MOU, now the NAAC accepts only MOU on stamp paper. So whether your institution is ready to spend on the stamp paper so many number of stamp papers, or whether it is a mutual understanding, that you can decide with your institution, with your management. There is no hard and fast rule that it must be with the MOU. Functional MOU means when you sign a particular MOU, whatever is mentioned in that MOU, you do certain activities according to that MOU within the time span of that particular MOU. Many times the institution sign MOU just for the showcase purpose. So they just sign the MOU and there is no activity under that MOU.
I think we are done with the questions, sir.
Okay. Even if you have any more questions, you can WhatsApp me on the same number. I'll definitely try to answer it.
Anshuma ma'am, shall we proceed with the next?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So please accept our appreciation certificate, sir.
Thank you.
And now I invite Dr. Lalita Pravina, Assistant Professor, Business Management and member IQAC to propose formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we end for the session today, I would like to propose formal vote of thanks to Mr. Paraksha. Sir, it was really a wonderful session. You have covered, I think, in a comprehensive manner, all the things, documents required at the institution level, department level, as well as the individual level. What documents have to be maintained with respect to academic plans, teaching diaries, timetables, everything, and also what are the requirements for conducting the certificate courses or maintaining the remedial classes and mentoring and all that. Thank you so much, sir. It was really a wonderful session. You had given a deep insight into each and every aspect of Criteria 1, sir. We are very thankful to you for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, Madam Anupama, Madam.
Hello.
Yes,
ma'am. Good evening, Madam. This is Neeraja from Kesha Memorial. Please, will you send yesterday's link, recorded link and today's recorded link?
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely, we'll share.
Some of our faculties are in invigilation duties.
It is there. YouTube, ma'am. YouTube. You can watch the YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
We will share, ma'am, links also. No problem.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.